Hello everybody, welcome to Curious Awakenings, where magic and kindness connect and we wonder how the heck it all happens. I'm Rama and
I'm Emily.
And how the heck does it all happen, Emily?
We're still wondering.
Yeah, are we going to talk about that kind of stuff today?
We're absolutely going to talk about that kind of stuff
how
today.
Anything happens. How does anything happen?
But first, Rama, I want to ask you about what's on this table right here.
Those two little balls? Those two little balls.
Two little balls.
Forget about it. They're just balls.
I wonder why you wanted them squished together in that way.
I didn't do that intentionally. These are beautiful chocolate things that Mark shared. Mark, our kind, generous producer, director, executive director here at the Acton Cable. And I had one already, and they're delicious. Oh, they are so scrumptious. And I don't know, I have two more, and I just put them on the table like that. They just came together. I feel like they need any accoutrements with it. Like I won't say it. I'm going to use my filter. Thank you. I'm going to use my filter.
We can all fill in the blanks and what you were thinking.
Okay,
we'll just let that lie.
All right, thank you. Thanks for asking, though. Very, very curious of you.
Well, so curiosity, I think, has been a big part of our show from the get-go, right?
And it's been a big part of our journeys, both of us. Mm-hmm. Thank God. And we've talked about that. And you're reminding me to stay curious, not more curious, stay curious and to ask questions to hopefully help me listen more when I'm interacting with my fellow human beings, our fellow human beings.
And today we get to talk about woo-woo.
Woo-woo.
I'd say this is probably how we first connected.
Woo-woo?
We
we
met at...
Please remind it.
We met at a networking event, but the networking event was on the subject of paranormal investigation.
Yes.
So we met at that event, and I think, we could just kind of tell, okay, yeah, you're into some kind of out there stuff. I'm into some out there stuff. Let's be friends.
Yeah, exactly. We connected right away.
Yeah.
And let's let the viewers know it was at a Chamber of Commerce event.
That's right.
Which isn't necessarily always the spot you might find woo stuff, right?
But if you are in the woo-woo world and you're looking for a home, the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce is a very open space, incredibly kind, supportive, and welcome to all.
Good plug.
Yeah.
I've been to a number, I'm not a member per se, but I've been to a number of their events, especially when I lived on the North Shore. Always had a good time, good people.
Excellent people. So what is woo-woo, Rama?
And why does it matter?
Why does it matter?
Why does anything matter? And but matter. Speaking of matter, if love is energy, right? And energy is matter, right? Would you agree so far? If love is energy and energy is matter, doesn't that make love really matter? I know I probably shared that with you before. She's heard it before, viewers.
Yep.
But maybe some of you haven't.
It's a nice little sentence. No, I mean, it's a powerful sentence too. I don't want to diminish it.
Love does really matter.
Love does really matter.
There's love and everything else is fear.
Yeah. And it's interesting to think about in the context of, is it the Higgs boson particle? Like how does, I'm totally going to butcher this, so I don't know if I even want to proceed, but something for us to look up perhaps. How does energy, I don't even want to say it.
Higgs boson particle. What the heck is that?
Let's talk about that at a future episode.
Okay, after you've done your research, a little more research.
After I've looked into it a little bit.
So you know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
I'm kidding you.
But what is woo-woo?
Woo-woo is out there.
How do you define
Woo-woo
it?
could be out there. Have you ever had, like when you first got into this, all right, can I answer? Should I answer? All right, what's your question?
What is woo-woo? To you?
I'm guided to volley the question back to you.
Okay.
How did you get into the stuff you're into, whether it's woo-woo? Did you sometimes think it was to do woo-woo as you were getting into it, learning about it? Did people around you think it was woo-woo, think Emily's going down the woo-woo path? Did people use that phrase when they talked to you about it? Or was it a detrimental phrase? Or was it, a put down? Or what was your relationship and how did you get into the whole spiritual field? And what was your relationship to the quote-unquote woo-woo stuff?
Thanks for that question.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So to me, for most of my life, woo-woo, and I'll incorporate spirituality under this umbrella too. It was something I very much kept away from me. I was a scientifically minded person. I went to pharmacy school. There was one right answer, and I aced the test. And then, I don't know, I got older, I had more experiences, I started trying to listen more, and I realized, oh shoot, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we cannot explain with science.
You got more curious?
I got more curious. And I think this is a good time for us to read a little quote by Einstein. So talk about spirituality and the idea of not knowing the right answer. So this is one of Einstein's quotes. "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. He to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe, is as good as dead. His eyes are closed." And so to me, woo-woo is the world of wonder.
Oh, I love that.
It's the world
Woo-woo wonder.
that's just beyond the edges of what we've been able to quantify and qualify with data and replicable observations. It's the space of curiosity, of imagination, of inquiry. And that's a big, wide open space. It's a space of the witch. It's a space of the paranormal. It's a space of energy work. It's a space of spirit, mystery, all of it, to me. How about to you?
You nailed it. I think that's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, Mark. That's a wrap, viewers. What else do we need to know? No. But, and excuse me for taking notes, or thank you for...
I'm always flattered when you do it,
okay,
Rama,
yeah,
just so you know.
I did quote you, yeah. The world of wonder, inquiry, curiosity. That kind of says a lot in 3 words. It's a little more than 3 concepts. Wonder, inquiry, and curiosity. I mean, inquiry is so scientific. You always got to be inquiring and, getting the evidence and, find out. Like I maybe could have done a little more inquiry into the whole, last episode we talked about the attention span, and we talked about, airtime and attention, and I Googled and saw that the average attention span of a human being in 2025 is 8 seconds, but with further inquiry there may be more information on that, and if I'm so inclined I might go down that Google rabbit hole to get a little bit more inquiry, but if I'm curious enough, the curiosity, if they have enough wonder to have curiosity, wow, they all 3 go together. Wonder, inquiry, curiosity. Einstein, Edison must have wondered about a certain thing, must have inquired with himself, with others, with the science, and kept being curious. The Edison story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that Einstein quote. When you shared it earlier when we were prepping for the show, next to one of our favorite trees, I didn't fully grasp it, because maybe I was kind of in my zone of preparing some stuff too. But when you just shared it right there, it hit me more and more. It sunk in, even though it was more than 8 seconds for my attention span. So Edison, Thomas Edison, famous inventor, and he often bucked up against some, problems or stalemates, or he came to a wall. He came to, oh man, how am I going to figure this out? This, that, and the other. He had thousands of inventions, patents. But anyways, one of his methods was, during his quandaries, or maybe when he was just tired, he would take a nap on the couch there in his office, and he would put a rock in his hand. And he'd go to sleep, take his nap, and then naturally his hand would loosen up, the rock would go boom. And as soon as the rock had that thud, he went to his journal right beside him with pen and paper, and he wrote down whatever came to him in that unconscious or that superconscious state. And a lot of times it was answers excuse me, to exactly what he was curious about, or doing inquiry about, or wondering about. So I liked that story.
Yeah.
Edison, Einstein, those two cool cats.
Absolutely.
Two smart dudes.
And I think you were starting to talk a little bit more about the idea of inquiry, how powerful self-inquiry is, which is, I think, a big part of what Edison was doing. He was allowing himself to reach into his subconscious and pull out those little bits of ideas,
Nuggets.
those little nuggets. And we all have the capacity to access that part of ourselves,
Yes.
right? We have the capacity to induce and to work with altered states of consciousness. And that doesn't have to be some crazy big thing you do. We're often in an alpha brainwave state just before we fall asleep. And just when we
hypnagogic state, they call it, I think.
yeah, just when we
Love that
wake up in
state.
the morning, right? We're more kind of receptive at that point. And it's a good idea. It's a good time to do some journaling. But
Pen and
certainly,
paper next to the bed, yeah.
yeah. I mean, and we can access those altered states through breath work. We can access certainly through psychedelics. We can access it sometimes, through music, through meditation. There are so many ways that we can allow ourselves to be curious about ourselves, to inquire within. And I think that's really powerful for folks to know. It's not just people like Edison that can do it. We can all do it.
Yes. And Emily, guess what?
What?
I wonder,
Yeah.
does some of it come from beyond us, okay? Because the different dreams, the different things that came to Edison, or the different things that come to us viewers out there, the different things that come to you in dreams. Sometimes my dream time is like 10,000 times more interesting than my life, my living life. It's like, whoa, that's some cool stuff going on there in my dreams. And sometimes I wonder, does it come from beyond us? I think about writers, songwriters, sometimes the things that come to them. Stories.
Can I say something about that?
Please. I'm wondering, does it come from beyond us?
There is an author, Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love, and several other incredible books. Most recent one that I read by her, it's not her most recent book, but the most recent one I read is called Big Magic. It's incredible. She's amazing. But she has a TED Talk where she talks about the idea that in our American culture, the idea of creativity, it's very much housed within an individual, right? Like, you're a creative person, and so then there's a lot of pressure heaped on that person. So you might produce some work of art or writing or whatever it is, and then there's all of this pressure to do it again because it's all you, ego, right? And so she says, what if we reframed that? What if we shifted that back to how the Greeks perceived genius, as being from the muses? It's not from the individual, it's inspired. And then that takes away the pressure and it allows it to be something that is beyond you, that is part of some
Cosmos.
Galaxy. Some consciousness perhaps that extends beyond any one person. And that I love.
Yeah, that kind of answers my question. It continues the conversation. Does it come from who knows where? Other galaxies, other cosmos. Speaking of things that come from other galaxies, I was listening to, I believe it was NPR radio, and they were telling a story about a thing, asteroid, rock, or something coming from interstellar. Interstellar meaning beyond our solar system. And it was hurtling towards the Earth. I guess there was no alarm that it's going to hit the Earth. But first of all, the magic and the stuff that they can even find these things coming in. And they determined that there's only been 3 of them that they've been able to document or see coming from interstellar. It was fascinating and mind-blowing and mind-boggling thinking about that. Interstellar from that might have, this rock or asteroid might have been created 9 billion years ago, and it's hurtling through our solar system.
Yeah.
3 of them ever, but as the man was describing it, there's more that can be detected or will be detected over the next coming years because of our advances in technology and to be able to detect it.
And how fortunate that there is someone whose particular curiosity, whose particular sense of wonder is suited to exploring those mysteries.
Crazy.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things about wonder, about curiosity, is that I think we can be curious about it all, but ultimately, I think we often are drawn to particular mysteries. Each one of us has particular things that we gravitate toward that pique our interest. And it's when we're able to explore that we get so passionate about sharing it.
Okay, Emily, may I ask, what mysteries do you get most drawn to? This is perfect segue.
This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah.
I think I love figuring out what someone's passionate about. The mystery within a person. What gets you excited about living? Wow. What are your gifts?
Can I write that down?
Yeah. What are your gifts and strengths? What is it that brings you fulfillment? Where's the intersection of that? How do you want to share your gifts with the world in acts of service? That is what I love to wonder about.
Whoa. What gets you excited about living?
Yeah.
That is amazing. And you do it well.
Oh, thank
you do it naturally, you do it well. You've done it with me, you've done it with people I've seen you interact with. I hope you just keep doing it, and you'll get even more better at it too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, let me first jump on that and invite our viewers. What gets you excited about living? Feel free to comment.
Do you know what your gifts are?
Yeah.
Right? Has someone been able to help you see that, or have you been able to see that in yourself? Your particular strengths.
We all have them. You have them. Everyone out there has them.
And your particular curiosities.
What gets you excited about living? What makes you wonder? What makes you curious? What was that third one? Inquiry. What makes you inquire deeper about certain things? And what thrills you?
How do you integrate it all in a way that helps you connect somehow, in a way that helps you feel of service?
Yeah. And just getting back to the viewers for a sec, as far as logistics, there is a comment section at the end. So if you don't watch the whole show, you can always go to the comments later and make a comment, because we're not expecting everyone to watch the whole 29, 30 minutes. If you do, great. I hope you enjoy it, and hope we make it interesting enough to do so. But we'd love to hear from you and get more information to continue this conversation, because we will get back to this, because we're just scratching the surface. There's so much. So what gets me excited about living? You talked about finding what makes people passionate. What gets me excited about living is helping people find that and get that and connect them to that. So if it's, we have a lot of musicians, I'm a musician, we have a lot of musicians in my family, nieces and nephews who are accomplished and are achieving, going places and doing amazing things. I love to connect them to whatever way I can connect them and help them to connections that I might be making in the music world or in the world. But anyone, I love to find out what thrills them and help them get there to that, whatever that is. That's one of my favorite things to do in the world. So that gets me excited about living.
Yeah.
Getting up in the morning gets me excited about living. Touching the earth. I was so excited to get up this morning. And we talked about getting into the woo-woo, the Mercury in retrograde. Yesterday I was feeling so off. And we talked about that a little bit, me, you, and Mark, when we were kind of just arriving, and like, what's going on in the universe? Mercury in retrograde, this may be woo-woo stuff, the astrological stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but you have thoughts on that?
I do.
Yes, please.
I think the world of woo, for so many folks, because we can't explain it, because it doesn't make rational sense, we say, But here's what I love about it. So some of my favorite woo-woo things, astrology. I'm by no means an expert in astrology, but it brings me great joy to think about it and to talk to people who are better educated in it. Tarot. The idea of generational trauma or past life regression. And I like all of these woo-woo spaces because even if you don't believe in spirit or collective consciousness or energy dynamics, even if you don't believe in any of
Which are
that.
all things we believe in.
Which are all things that we believe in.
We've experienced them.
Yeah. But even if not, I think you can enter this world intellectually. You can enter it emotionally. You can enter it physically, I think probably to some degree. A lot of the way that I've entered the world of woo is intellectually. So again, I've entered woo-woo because it's just beyond the edges of what science can do for us.
Ooh, that's a very apt description.
At this moment in
like
time,
that.
anyway. So when I think about the tarot, so tarot cards, for those of you who don't know, it's a 78 card deck. There are several cards that are called the major arcana, and they're like archetypes that we can generally relate to as human beings in our experience as human beings, right? There's the sun and the high priestess, and I won't get into it.
No,
and then there are
feel free.
And then there are 4 suits, kind of like in a deck of regular playing cards. But these ones are swords, which deal with ideas, thoughts, the mind. There are cups, which deal with emotions, the heart. There are pentacles, which deal with things in the physical world, our resources, our money, our physical body. And then there are the wands, which are kind of more like our soul, our fire, our passion.
And how do you use this, or how might viewers use this? How might this benefit you or others?
The way I like to use them, I ask a question, something like, what have I not considered in this situation? And I will pull one of 78 cards, and it doesn't really matter what I pull. It's going to give me a different perspective than I would have been able to access on my own with my narrow, myopic view of the world.
A different new perspective
than I would have considered otherwise. So this is what I mean when I say, we can enter the world of woo-woo intellectually. Right? I think so often we don't realize our blind spots. We end up on a track of thought. It's kind of, it's the way our brains work. We have pathways that become well-worn. Mm-hmm. But the tarot helps us access another pathway. And it does so without feeling shame or blame or guilt. It's just, this is another way to think about the situation. And astrology, I think, does the same thing. Whether you believe there is some cosmic story playing out, it's sort of beside the point. You can learn a little bit more about who you are in a way that takes your ego out of the equation, right? We can say, this is happening to you because of this cosmic reason, or this, this communication between these two planets, whatever it is, right? It's not your fault. You have no control over it. So let's take that right off the table, that you have any blame or control here, and let's just work with what we've got. How can we help you find some greater understanding, some greater peace in the situation right now? You're not at fault. The same thing with generational trauma, the same thing with past life regression, right? Whatever it is that you're working with, maybe we can just say it's a past life that you're carrying forward now, that you're being asked to work through.
Work through.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Let's take the shame, let's take the ego right out of it, and we can work with what we've got and help you be at peace. I just talked a lot.
No, that's okay. I'm with you.
You're here for it?
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think our viewers are with you on that. Very well explained, especially the way you explained tarot. I didn't know most of that.
Yeah.
As much as I've been exposed to so many different things, I haven't really played with the tarot. But if someone, does it for me or with me, I'd be glad to get their step. I'm not gonna learn how to do the tarot. It's just not one of my passions. I do like medicine cards, sacred path cards. I do like native spirituality, But do you want to do a tarot reading for me sometime? Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe we could have an episode where I pull a card.
Yes.
That would be fun.
We can do that for maybe each other.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you
That you
And-
what?
that I pulled a tarot card for my divorce attorney or mediator?
I think yes, you did. Yes, you did. And
It's a fun story for another day.
Okay. He's a he or she.
Yeah.
He appreciated it.
Yeah.
If I remember
yeah.
correctly. Yeah, and he resonated with it. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. I just had a thought,
Please.
if I may. The unexplained, the woo-woo, the magic. I'm into it. I'm fascinated by it all. You're fascinated by it all. A lot of our viewers are fascinated. But there may be some people out there that just, they don't want to go. They each want the explained. You know, especially maybe some of the scientists, maybe some of the doctors who, you know, just want all the evidence. There's so much that is unexplained, but maybe they just want the explained. There was an old TV show, I'm going to be dating myself, back from the 60s or 70s. I think it was a police show, and one of the sergeants said he would go talk to the people that had crimes committed against them, and he would go, "Just the facts, ma'am," because the woman would go off and tell the whole story about what happened, and, "Excuse me, just the facts, ma'am." Just the facts. Some people want just the facts.
Yeah, and that's great. Thank goodness we have people
Yes.
for whom that is their way of being, because we need it all.
Right. Yeah. But do you think
We need it all.
they are often exposed to this and get inspired by some of this, or are what I'm trying to ask? They're not susceptible, but open to it, and if they have experiences with it, might they expand their consciousnesses to this? I'm asking.
Perhaps.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I think so. I think we all are exactly where we're meant to be in terms of our way of approaching the world, and it can always change.
Bingo.
It can
Okay.
always shift.
Yeah. Yes. And expand
For
everyone and anyone.
if that's what we want. Right?
Whatever floats
But-
their boat. Yeah, but have you ever bucked up against people like that don't maybe want to know or don't accept the whatever?
Oh yeah,
we all
I
have,
feel
of
like
course.
I
we
know
don't judge
when
them.
when I'm
Yeah.
in a conversation with someone, and I talk about being a witch and my particular work and beliefs. You can kind of read the room and
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I need to just pack that broom back into the closet for this conversation. We can connect
Okay,
on
yeah.
other levels, right?
Okay,
And that's
yeah.
beautiful and powerful too, right?
Absolutely.
We can connect
Wherever someone's at.
in places where we have common ground, and that's awesome.
Wherever someone's at, it's kind of like this may be a good way to wrap this up.
Yeah,
May I read?
please.
When you go out into the woods and you look at the trees, you see all these different trees, and some of them are bent, and some of them are straight, and some of them are evergreens, and some of them are whatever. And you look at the tree and you allow it. You see why it is the way it is. You sort of understand that it didn't get enough light, and so it turned that way. And you don't get all emotional about it. You just allow it. We just allow it. You appreciate the tree. The minute you get near humans, you lose all that. We lose all that. And you are constantly saying, you're to this, or I'm to this, or you're to that. That judging mind comes in. And so I practice turning people into trees. And so I practice turning people into trees, which means appreciating them just the way they are. Thank you, Ram Dass.
Thank you, Ram Dass. Yeah. I mean, that's it.
Accepting and appreciating people just the way they are.
Thank goodness
Like a
we
tree.
have people who think in this way and think in this way and exist in this way and exist in that
Amen.
way. We need it all.
Makes the world go round.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. One more. That's a good one. That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, and we'll see you next time.